Hello everyone, welcome to your 23rd Grasshopper tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to learn about the Metaball, and I decided today to make something a bit easy and light. So it's a pretty easy concept. I think if you get the grasp of it, it's fine. So the thing is, I want to do something easy because there's something pretty hard coming up. The vectors is going to be the next lesson. So for now, we're just going to take something a little bit, fun and something we can do in like 3 minutes, hopefully. Anyway, so the Metaball. So if you go to Grasshopper, if you remember when we got the Voronoi and the Delaunay, it's in the triangulation tab. There's these two, these are the Metaball. So you have this one and you have the other one. Now they're almost the same. The only difference is here you have a threshold value and here you have to make it through a point. So I don't know, I think working with the point is a bit tricky, and usually everyone likes working with the threshold better, but I'll explain later how to use both of them. So what you need, let's try like learning in a different way today. So let's try just hovering over the definition, what is this? Oh my god, it's a container, okay. The container, and seeing like what inputs does it need. So if you just hover, it says points. So points as list, so I can understand it needs a bunch of points. It needs a plane, it needs a threshold, and it needs an accuracy. So the first thing I want to do is create a bunch of points. To create a point, I'm gonna do a sphere, and I'm not a really big fan of spheres, to be honest. I don't know, lately I've been doing spheres a lot. So we're just gonna enter the geometry to Grasshopper. So right click, set one geometry, and I want like a bunch of points inside this sphere. So I'm gonna do the internalized data first, and then I'm just gonna delete it. So like I have a cleaner definition, or like a cleaner shape, and then I'm gonna type in something called the pop 3D, which is a populate 3D, and you can see by default it's just giving me a box and there's like a bunch of points in it. Usually I think the default points is 100 points. So we're just gonna insert the geometry to your shape, and then see if you just hover, it says the number of points is 100. So we're done with the points. This is enough. What you see is we have this huge circle surrounding all these points. So what we need now is something called a plane, and I never like explained planes before, but basically in Rhino you have like one plane, which is like the X, Y, and the Z, and like everything you draw is in this plane. What Grasshopper allows you to do is have a bunch of planes. So you can have like, I don't know, 20 planes in the Z axis, or like 20 planes in the Y axis, or something like that. So we can have like a bunch of planes here, and this is when you're doing metaballs, you kind of have to have a lot of planes. So how do you do that? It's just you double click and type in XY. So my plane, like which I choose, is the XY. You can choose like ZY, XZ, like any plane you want. So I'm gonna work with the XY for now, and if I connect it, nothing happens. What we really need is like a bunch of planes. So what we're actually gonna do is, we go to your right, we're gonna make like a plane for all these points. So if I go back to perspective, I'm just gonna create a bunch of planes for my Metaball definition. So what we're gonna do is type in move. So move, I explained it before, it's just something that you can copy. Like move gives you can copy multiple geometries with the move. So if you just connect it here, we're just gonna disconnect this plane, and then we're gonna have a bunch of planes. So I want it in the Z axis, so this is my direction, and I want lots of planes. So I'm just gonna type in range, and then connect the range to the Z axis. So you can see now two things. If you go to your front view, first of all, your default number of range, whatever, is above. So see, it's like in the positive direction. I want it in the negative, so I'm just gonna have to do a definition for that. Before I do that, I'm just gonna add in some numbers for my domain and how many like numbers I need. So let's say maybe 10 is enough, and 50. If anyone's wondering, okay, before I say anything else, if anyone's wondering how I got this, so this one is something I wanted to mention later, but then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna mention it now. If you want to see this, this is just telling you how much time it takes to run the definition. So this 12 ms is like 12 milliseconds, which is normal in Grasshopper. If you see that's like 12 seconds, that's a bit long, or it's taking too long. So this is really good, like if you have lots of containers and you're wondering which one is taking so much time, you can just look at this number here. And how to get this number here under the containers is just go to solution, display, and then go to canvas widgets, and you can see here something called profiler. So if I click it, it goes. So just go back and get it again. So profiler will show you how much time it takes for each definition to like work and process the data inside. So for now, this looks okay. What I need to do is also have it in the negative direction. Now, I don't know if there's an easier way, but how I did it was just get a copy of my z and then just add in an expression. I typed x times -1 and then commit changes and then just connect it. So you can see now I have the exact number on both sides. Now I don't know if there's an easier way, but I don't know, this is what I came up with. And you can see that my domain, and this just makes more planes. So if you go on the perspective, you can see that this is basically all the planes that I have copied, like made multiple copies of. So now we're ready to just connect to the plane. And you can see that we have this huge thing surrounding all my my points. So what we need to do is just hide this for a while, and then what you do now is basically the difference between this Metaball definition and the other one. So here you just need a threshold. So you just type in 1.00 for your slider and then connect it. You can see now maybe I have a better better Metaball, like it shows you better. So let's take maybe a bigger number, 5.00, connect it. And you can see now what a Metaball is. It just takes every point you have and then makes a bunch of isocurves around it, and the less threshold you have, the more it makes it like connect together and join in together. So, oops, too much. So see, it says 2.1 second, 4.4 seconds. That's a lot. It's supposed to be millisecond. My computer is dying as usual. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so this is basically how to do Metaball. This is a pretty easy one. We'll make this one, maybe something like this. I really need to hide this sphere, so let's just go back to geometry, hide, and now you can see the Metaball much easier. Now you can just like make a different seed or like change the number of points. So anyway, basically all you need is like a lot of points, and then just make your Metaball definition around it. The other one I wanted to mention was this one. And this one is just basically, you need the exact same thing. So you need like a bunch of points, a bunch of planes, and then instead of the threshold, you need points, or like 1 point or whatever. So we can just try doing one right now easily. So we'll just delete this, and then connect points here. Let's delete this guy and the geometry here. So nothing happens because you actually need a bunch of points. So just get a point, right click, set multiple points. I'll go to the top view and just make random points, change the location. Okay. Oh yeah. I couldn't move it because I created it in Grasshopper. I totally forgot. I was trying to move it with Rhino. So, okay. Yeah, this should be fine. And then if I connect it, yeah, so it works. So see, we have like lots of points which we created, and these Metaball definition is working around these points. So it's just like, if we try to move it, you're gonna see like a slight change. Anyways, something like that. So I would really highly recommend playing with this definition a bit, and yeah, just have fun. This is a very easy definition. Lots of people like play a lot with it. You can get a cube and then do some what do you call this, like Boolean stuff with it. What else can you do with this? I don't know. You can, I mean, there's something like Zaha Hadid's designs where she uses, I mean, I don't know if she uses metaballs, but like it looks like something she does with metaball, and it's like these I don't have internet now, but it's like these very elongated shapes. I think is in China. I don't know if it's in Guangzhou. I'm probably wrong. Anyway, so you can like do a lot of things with this. You can loft it. I would love to loft it, but I think my computer will die. So yeah, so next tutorial we're gonna learn about vectors, and vectors are really fun to use. And if you understand, I mean, at the beginning you're gonna be like, what am I supposed to do with vectors? It's so complicated, blah blah blah. But I think like if you know how to work with vectors, you're pretty much set for Grasshopper. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited for the next one, and I hope you enjoyed this one. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next tutorial.